machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday. Welcome, everybody. Today is probably going to be a short stream. I am tired, folks. John Lithium, welcome. B-Cat, welcome. Quad Bennett, Taylor getting married. Yeah, I saw. Although on the list of important news, that doesn't even make my radar. Another week's worth of news happening in a single day. Lots of stuff happened. Unfortunately, we won't be able to cover it all, but we'll get through some of it. All right, folks. Thank you all for being here. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you go and do all the things like share, subscribe. If you want to support the channel directly, check out the merch store. Hit the exclamation mark tip. The Substack. Check out the Discord, folks. Heat, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. We're going to try to run through as much of this stuff as possible. You've got this. Well, we're going to try. I mean, we should probably start with this, right? It can't all be serious, right? Echo Resto Dragon, welcome.
All right, let's have fun here. So Ben Shapiro has a new angle to target Zohran Mamdani, and it's about how he's not a man enough for Ben. Pregnant pause.
Sorry, I was taking my creatine because I was feeling insecure about this segment.
Here we go. I mean, I don't even know why one would feel this reminds me of when Tim Pool, when we had, our interview was like 3 hours long or whatever. I needed to get the hell out of there to make my flight. And he's like, one more topic. Why do you think liberals are so much uglier than conservatives?
Did you say, are you liberal?
I just wanted to be like, okay, all right,
Wait,
Mr. Bean.
that was like a serious question that he literally asked Emma? Hoo boy. Hoo boy. I'm not disputing that. I'm just kind of shocked. Man. That's actually wild.
Man, you want to make this case? Glass houses. All right, Ben, let's see.
Democrats are learning that soy is actually not an amazing nutritional base for all things. They might be learning this from Zohran Mamdani, who is, of course, the likely next mayor of New York City. Now, Democrats have been claiming that he's the hot new thing in the Democratic Party, that Zohran Mamdani is going to lead the way to a bright new socialist future for America, starting with the most powerful financial capital on planet Earth. But if we're speaking about power, if we're speaking about socialist strongmen, Zohran Mamdani, it's going to be hard pressed, no pun intended, to actually be a strongman, pun intended. Zohran Mamdani yesterday showed up at the annual men's.
This is going to be a long 14 minutes, folks. This is going to be a long 14 minutes, folks.
Day open streets event in Brooklyn on Saturday, where a bunch of dudes were lifting, apparently. And the 33-year-old socialist, again, he's 33, which is like
Younger than me, by the way. I'm gonna have to get an oxygen mask. I'm laughing so hard. That's funny. Michael Hassner, welcome.
young in the prime of life. He tried to bench. Now, my dude, let me.
Okay, so hold on. I think that the last person that should be talking about lifting is Ben Shapiro. Okay, the last person that should be talking about lifting is Ben Shapiro. I mean, like, let's be for real for 1 second, okay?
Just say,
Hold on.
if you're going to do
Can we just mark that for a sound drop, please?
My dude.
My dude.
No, my dude.
You know, when I'm hanging out with the bros, I go, my dude, what's up with you?
Wait, he's saying it like milady.
My lady. I hope, my dude, you're not looking at the porn on the internet because that's so bad for your brain. And also,
I got to hear him talk about how he's going to talk about the fact that he clearly also couldn't clear 135.
right.
young in the prime of life, he tried to bench. Now, my dude.
Oh my god. Just to be clear, like I'm also not pretending like I can bench 135 pounds because that would literally be my body weight, more or less. But I'm also not going around pretending to be some kind of alpha male guy. That is incredibly cringe from Ben Shapiro here. I don't give an F what Zoran benches. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, you know, whatever angle works for them. You know, they can't talk about the policies that he's pushing, like making sure people have food or bringing down the cost of housing. Instead, they're talking about whether or not Mamdani can lift 135 pounds. The heaviest thing Shapiro's ever benched was an Ayn Rand model. Pathetic, indeed.
Let me just say that if you're going to do something like this and you're a public figure,
And again, Ben Shapiro in no universe is going to be benching 135 pounds.
you have to know your limitations. Like Zohar Mamdani must have at some point been in a gym. I mean, maybe not, given how this video went. But if you don't know how much you can bench, this is not a great time to try it out. It's like in front of a giant crowd of people in the middle of a mayoral race. So he shows up.
Can you pause it?
Yeah, who cares, actually?
Yeah, like I don't think the mayoral race is going to be determined by the fact that Mamdani failed or did lift 135 pounds or did a bench press of 135 pounds. The mayoral race is not going to come down to that. And if it did, then like all hope is lost. And good luck, everyone. I think.
I don't.
I don't know if Zoran's done this, but there are like always people playing chess in Washington Square Park, and they're like experts. If he had done and sat down with them for a campaign event and lost, would this be the critique? Like, the people
No,
that are
because-
benching and doing this competition are good at it. Zoran's a cardio king. Anyone see him walk the entire length of Manhattan that one day? That guy has great stamina. He may not be jacked, But got news for you, Ben. Some women aren't into that.
Actually, a real man would know not to embarrass himself, and would be very insecure about what he's able to do and not do, and be sure not to do anything that might embarrass him. That's how a real man goes through the world, making sure that they don't ever fail in front of anybody.
True. Unlike me, Ben Shapiro. Only thing those bricks of books are good for.
And because then they'll laugh at them, and you're not a real man. He I think it's actually says a lot about Zoro on how he was willing to get down on a bench,
Yeah.
and try. And I'll just say,
But I'm very secure.
like, he actually got a good workout in, because when you go to failure, that's actually when you're building the most muscle. So
Exactly.
even though he wasn't able to clear a full rep without a little bit of help, he still got that good burn in, maybe a little delayed onset muscle soreness, and he's probably come back, maybe try 135 next week. He might be able
Yeah,
to get
maybe something that Ben has no idea about. Carpet packs, welcome.
He's been a little bit busy running for mayor. Not everybody has the luxury that Andrew Cuomo has to kind of show up in New York on occasion, stay at his daughter's apartment. Not everybody has open access to things like testosterone replacement. I mean, just saying this in theory, or human growth hormone. That kind of thing.
He's been slimming down too. He's not bulking. He's not building muscle. This is him last summer in Subway takes, and you can see he's lost a little bit of weight. Since
But you know why he's slimming down is because he's literally been walking across
exactly,
the city,
talking to people.
like an insane amount of walking.
Yeah.
He should share his average steps in response to this,
Right.
But it doesn't even dignify with a response.
Oh yeah, I mean, like they would just say, like, oh, I like they would literally just say something else. It doesn't matter. Like this is all pointless. Okay, we're just memeing on Ben Shapiro. To be quite frank.
But I just want to play a little bit.
We're
of this.
already giving Ben too much credit.
I know.
Maybe let's go back to Ben first, because I want to hear him talk about, like, bro, how much can you bench, Ben? Can
Right.
you lift
Yeah.
the bar up?
Yeah, let's
I
get a
would
video
love
of
to
it.
see that.
Yes.
Yeah, we need a video of Ben.
And he takes
we,
a
we
couple
need we need a video of Ben Shapiro bench pressing 135 pounds.
of 45s, like 2 plates, and he stacks them on the bar. So this is maybe 135 pounds total. And now,
Maybe?
let's just be clear. A decent bench for a man is his own body weight. Okay, that's like a decent bench for a man. Zoran Mamdani,
Wait a minute. Wait, is that true? So if you weigh 100, if you weigh like 200 pounds, you're supposed to be able to, and mind you, I'm speaking from ignorance here. You're supposed to be able to bench 200 pounds. Just to be clear, I've never tried to bench press my own body weight. It would be literally similar to 100 and I would suspect about 130. F this pencil neck dweeb. Oh, I know. Doesn't he have better things to talk and think about? Nope.
I assume, weighs
This is about as good as we get from Ben Shapiro.
more than 135 pounds. Maybe not.
Can I say, like, it's not a decent. You're doing well if you can bench your weight.
I
He
could
doesn't
never.
know he's reading this. He doesn't know anything
That's
about a gym.
that's
He
the
has a
point. It's like,
teleprompter.
it's
in front.
about 135. No, it's pretty definite. That says exactly how much
40
it
plus
is.
45 plus 45.
I mean, look.
Some quick math there.
I mean,
I'm
it's,
pretty sure that's not true. Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because, like, I don't know. Again, I could be wrong. I'm not like a gym bro. The only type of training that I've done involves martial arts, and a lot of that martial arts training is with your own body. You don't use weights, not really. You use your own body. So technically, I don't know. I don't know how much I can actually bench if I ever tried. But anyways, that's not the point. Yeah, it just feels like benching your own body weight, is like top tier kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, if you're like 325 pound like power lifter guy who only has like literally just pure muscles, like a strong man, you know what I mean? I don't know. Are you supposed to be able to bench press that much weight? I cannot bench my weight. I need to lose some. It's amazing. I can lift it all with my scoliosis. Oof. Ben Shapiro. And also, like, the amount of weight you can bench press has nothing to do with anything other than you can bench press that amount of weight. I bench 420. Hey, nice. Getting real good use out of that. Emphasis on the thumb. Quarter gram curls. Y'all are killing me.
It's different for women, I guess, but I mean, if you're able to bench your body weight, you're pretty damn strong, at least in my book.
Really good for women, but
Yes.
for men, like that, I would bet thousands of dollars that Ben Shapiro cannot bench his own meager body weight.
Yeah, like, look, man, I'm very small. Okay, I am very small, and I would take Ben Shapiro's lunch. Okay.
We should challenge him. He should do this. Glass houses,
Yes.
buddy.
Also, if he's embarrassed on like displays of like weak macho masculinity, he should shave that fucking beard.
I would like to see Ben Shapiro try to do 150-pound
That
bench
beard has
press.
taken him 6 years, I think, to grow in.
Yeah, it's still pretty rough.
Right, and it's like at least shave it down a little bit, but it's like the in between stubble
The patch.
piece.
He thinks
Yeah.
he's like Kurt Russell or something.
Oh,
like, it's
no.
my 5 o'clock shadow.
But come on, Ben, get down with 150 pounds.
Decent bench for a man.
Beard shaming.
A decent bench for a man is his own body weight. And that's like a decent bench for a man. Zohar
A
Mamdani,
decent.
I assume, weighs more than 135.
Decent. No, man, that's like pretty freaking strong, man. Like you're up there. If you can bench your own body weight as a bodybuilder or power lifter or whatever, that's pretty good. Again, I'm not sure like what the stages are, like how much you're supposed to be able to bench, depending on how long you've been weightlifting. Yeah. ADT versus Ben Shapiro. That's not I don't know. It wouldn't even be like a contest. Like I might actually even feel bad for this guy. Google AI, it takes about 6 months to 2 years of consistent training to be able to bench press your body weight. Yeah, okay, so that's like, okay, you're like a bodybuilder, you're that gym bro, like you're Hassan Abi, okay? That's what I'm getting from that. Welcome, JK. Strokes beard. I'm not good with the beard, honestly. The only reason I have this much facial hair, so I'm not even gonna go too hard on the beard stuff because I can't, look at me. Not that great. Not a beard person. These are critiques of people who lose at the ethical arguments. Oh, 100%. Like we're not making any kind of we're not making any arguments here. It's just pure dunking on Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro because there's no arguments to respond, as you said. Ben Shapiro's arguments are like, look, he's like he's not strong. You have little time for politics, probably. Yeah.
Like you
Seriously.
need to be benching to bench your own weight. Nobody just sits down for the first time because they're in
Exactly.
good shape. And so like, okay.
I mean, like even if you are kind of like a strong person, like just generally, if you don't work out, you're not gonna be able to get there. Like it takes a minute and it takes consistency. It's Ben trying to shame someone for their physical characteristics. It's ableist at best and ultimately petty. Yep, 100%. Because he's got nothing else, right? Like he's got nothing else. As I said earlier, like he's not gonna try to like talk about Mamdani's like policy about trying to make sure that people have food. He's not going to talk about Mamdani's policies to bring down the cost of housing or any of that. No, we're going to talk about how much, Mamdani can or cannot bench because I'm an alpha bro.
Maybe not, but I for a man. Zoran
And
Mamdani,
it also kind of ties into the whole might makes right.
I assume weighs more than 135 pounds. Maybe not, but I assume that he does.
Yeah.
135 pounds is not a lot of weight. Like, not a lot of weight at all. Now, I'm not a bench press
Let's drop
enthusiast.
some on your head.
For the record, I
135
max out
pounds.
at around
See if
200
that's a lot of
pounds.
weight.
I'm not like an amazing.
Yeah, okay, you max out at 200 pounds. Yeah, I'm gonna say that that's a lie. I'm gonna say that that's a lie. Okay, like ain't no way. Like, please, like, since we're on this topic, okay, and we're trying to talk about muscles and strength. Please, let's be so for real. And in no universe is Ben Shapiro benching 200 pounds, okay? There's nothing to say it doesn't make Ben look like a monster, so he pivots to this. Yep. Take off the jacket. Take off the jacket, Benny. Scrawny little thing. BS meter, 100%. I don't believe this for a minute. I don't believe this for a second. Not at all. You can't bench that much with your neck, that much thinner in your jaw. We love scrawny. We just hate liars. Yep. True.
I'm not a bench press enthusiast.
Wait.
For the record, I max out at around 200 pounds. So I'm not like an
I don't believe
amazing
it.
bench pressed connoisseur.
Connoisseur?
Even I
We talking
can
about
lift
whiskey?
135 pounds, probably 15 times, because that's not a lot of weight. Zoran Mamdani, it doesn't go well. Here's how it went.
I mean, we don't need to see it. Ben, you have to show us you doing that amount of weight 15 times.
Please.
Yeah.
With no assistance like Zoran got. Let's see it. The idea that he can do 200 pounds, I think, is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I would like to see it. Facts over feelings. Facts over assertions.
Yeah, sus.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah, like ultimately, like, dude, I don't care. Like, let's say like Ben actually can do 135 pounds 15 times. Nobody freaking cares, man. The whole conversation is freaking pointless. But I just find it hilarious that Mr. Alpha Male is really gonna go there. Look, is really gonna go there. Like, Ben Shapiro is really gonna go there. Okay. I want to see him pressed.
Trump is a fat, lazy.
Yeah, like, how come... Hey, wait a minute. That's a good point. How come we're not asking, like, how much Trump can bench, right? Because, like, that's supposed to be the sign of the alpha male. How much can Donald Trump bench, right? Can we get a number on that one? Right? The alpha of alpha males. Can we get a number on that? He can do 135 pounds of lies. Truth is heavier. True. Welcome, Nana Sadie. I bet Trump can't bench a pillow.
Like, out of shape, ignorant idiot.
The health secretary is never nude.
The health secretary is using
Growth hormone.
human growth hormone. I mean, I don't want to get sued, but it appears that he might be supplementing, and he's quite red all the time, which is a bit of a side effect of some of these drugs that
However much those documents boxes weighs.
help people like look kind of freakish later in their life. Zoran looks like a normal person, but I think, New Yorkers, they wanted somebody who was going to bring down the rent, freeze it, provide universal childcare, free buses. But gosh, can he bench? Republicans, their sense of masculinity,
I mean,
on this front, it's amazing to me because, like,
Yeah, but that's exactly the point, right? Like the point is like, yeah, we're not going to talk about, free childcare. We're not going to talk about try to make sure that there's like government grocery stores so that people can get food. We're not going to talk about trying to improve public transportation by trying to make it free. I mean, like none of that, because that would be an awkward conversation for his audience. Their concept of masculinity is stuck in the 70s. Yeah, I mean, like I think it's all nonsense, right? Like it's all just like subjective nonsense. I think it's funny coming from Ben because it matters to Ben. You know what I mean? The only way this matters is if your mayor's going to go around emptying the bins himself. Wish me luck on this room for rent. $1,750 to $2,100 up front and moving costs depending on current rooming chipping in. Nice. Nice. I hope everything goes well. Don't worry, you'll catch up in no time. 3.5 times speed.
I don't want to betray too much about my like sensibilities, but for men, when I see a guy that's juiced up like that, I would run the other way. I've been in a relationship for like over 8 years, but like even just in terms of aesthetically, it signals
to me. Joe Rogan Tomato Man?
Oh, I do not like Joe Rogan Tomato Man. Like, if you're the kind of guy that is that obsessed.
The Joe Rogan Tomato Man. I think that I like that, and that's probably going to stay. I like that. The Joe Rogan Tomato Man aesthetic or archetype, I guess would be the word. Yeah, you gotta split it. 700 because it's what 1,700 depending on what it is. That's not too bad. Given.
First of all, you probably are like extremely vain, and you have a little bit more time on your hands to do that kind of thing. Like I like bodybuilding; it's interesting or whatever, right. But the idea that is what masculinity should be. Yeah, like
masculinity is whatever. Like it's so subjective. Like, you know what I mean? It used to be that like pink was a very masculine color, and blue was the more quote feminine color. So it's all subjective. Who cares?
Is the kind of thing you hear from men that don't really perform like positive masculinity in your life, which is about like taking care of your family, being a good and honest, reliable person. And that's what, and I would identify with as masculine.
It's a type of conspicuous consumption at a certain point, to right. Be so, and being a media professional, like I'm in good shape because much easier job than somebody who works 8 to 5 o'clock and is completely worn out by it. Like, my hours are much better, so I can go to the gym.
But that's the thing. That's like, but it's about like shaming people for also oftentimes not like having the free time or.
Yeah, I mean, like it's all about like being superior, which is kind of like a fascist. It ties into the whole fascist thing. Masculinity and femininity has become more important than humanity somehow.
Financial resources to be able to do people, all of this kind of stuff.
Right.
You see how beauty standards change throughout time. For example, being tan became like the hot thing to look like in like the 80s.
Are they coping that Zoran is a wuss? I don't understand. What does that mean? Can you elaborate on that?
These are the 90s in Western culture and has persisted because in the past, being tan or sun-kissed indicated you were working in the fields and you were poor. Now it means you have the time to vacation.
Go do some squats.
Same thing with like women's muscle mass. right? You were supposed to be a desirable woman, pale and a little bit mushy, because that meant you weren't exerting yourself that much and you were there for childbearing. Now, washboard abs, whatever. This men's stuff, it's the same thing. Like, they are creating these beauty standards and insecurities for men with this rigidity that only can be lived up to if you have the financial means and the time off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that ties into the whole thing with capitalism and whatnot. Anyways, the point is, like, masculinity and femininity is all subjective. Who cares, man? It's both ableism and classism. Yeah, that's true, because then that means, like, if you're disabled, then you are not a man. Which is kind of effed up, man. It's super effed up. Pink was the boy color and blue was the girl color. Stupid stuff. Yeah, it's all subjective. It's all subjective. It's all meant to employ this idea that you have to live up to the standard. It goes the same way for the standards of what constitutes femininity too. Like, who cares, man? Who cares?
To work out and
If you want to be a super fit, super fit muscled up woman who lifts, who can probably lift me, who cares? Go do that. It doesn't matter.
that way. Or if you have the money to get like supplementary help, which it seems like basically every conservative influencer is partaking in right
Or
now.
you could be like Ben and just lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not do that at all.
Shortcut.
Yeah, the shortcut. Lying is so OP, man.
Tom C, I would pay every single cent I own to bet against Ben Shapiro benching 200. I mean, we
Yeah,
already know
man.
he's living in a
Come
fantasy
on,
world,
bro.
but he's going way too far on this one.
Yeah, I literally would bet whatever living cent, whatever living dollar I have, that Ben Shapiro cannot bench press 200 pounds.
200 pounds. I
Majority Report wardrobe coordinator points out Ben Shapiro can't satisfy his wife. Yeah. That's the thing that's a little more masculine in
doctor
my
wife.
view. Right. Right.
who's
Yeah.
a fully educated woman, empowered to be out in the workplace.
Right.
We support that. Does Ben?
Not
Publicly, at least.
not so much.
Yeah. Moanep, welcome. That's an awkward conversation. Like, I genuinely wonder, like, what Ben Shapiro's wife thinks about the way he thinks of women. It's very obvious how he feels about women.
MPG, dudes who use steroids equal rage abuse risk. Most women run the other way. The other Biden, times a week I could do 135 for 140 pounds max, and I am much bigger than Shapiro. Yeah, I know men can do
Yeah.
better than that, but still.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe Ben can do 135 better than Zoran can, and that's frankly a big maybe. I feel extremely gracious granting that. He cannot do it 15 times, and he cannot do 200 pounds.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I would literally bet every single cent I have, every living dollar I have in my account, to the extent that it's there, that he cannot do that. Hey, Pippy Chick with subscribing with a tier 1 sub. Thank you. A little B with a little P. Ben is honest about the wrong things. True. Welcome, Seth Evans. Thank you so much for the support, Pippy Chick. Appreciate it.
Noel from San Francisco. Emma, what can you bench? I mean,
Listen, Emma can bench the 135, okay? I'd like to think bench pressing is overrated. Oh, all of this is nonsense. This is a nothing segment. Only just to kind of poke fun at Ben Shapiro for being so absurd. Okay, like that's the whole point of all of this. It's all nonsense. Okay, like listen, being fit and working out and like taking care of your body, that's good. That's great. We're all supportive of that. To the extent that like folks can do that, hey, do that. If you can just walk, around the block, if you can just walk around your house for 10 minutes, if you can do 200 push-ups or 5 push-ups, whatever. If you take care of yourself and that's what you want to do, Godspeed. Godspeed to everyone. So none of this means anything. This is just a opportunity to kind of take pot shots at Ben for being so absurd. Bozy, welcome. I'm also Nasati on YouTube. Oh, hey. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. Thank you. Appreciate that. She's probably trad. Probably.
When I was working out pretty hard prior to the wedding, really not that much. Like, I think I was doing, like, with the bar, I'm trying to calculate it, with 15s on each, or sometimes 20 with a spotter on each, plus the bar. What's that?
A bug flew in the window and I screamed. The neighboring hotel room guests are probably pissed. Yeesh. Wait, so 20, the bar is probably what, 30 pounds? Is the bar set 50 pounds, I think? How much is the bar? Why is she talking about how much she benches? The bar is 45. Okay, I thought it was 50. Because this conversation was about bench presses. Did you not listen? Are you having trouble listening? Or maybe you can listen. Are you having trouble keeping up with the context of the conversation? Is it a little bit difficult for you? Soul Life, welcome. Are you upset that I called Zoran a wuss? I think you walked into the wrong stream, buddy. The continuing saga of Ben Shapiro.
That.
It's 80 pounds. with
Yeah, I
20
mean,
cents.
it's really
80
but
pounds, that's-
Now
Well,
it's
you can't be mayor.
now I put like 10 pounds on or 5 pounds on, but
So wait, 10, that's 20, about 60 something pounds. That's halfway. That's already halfway. Now I can't unsee Ben Shapiro as a bench, like a Family Guy bench. Don't come here and benching about whatever the topic is, and then go all that you got silenced. Oh no, they're definitely a troll. Big red flag is being banned in Actual Jake's channel. Actual Jake is super chill. Actual Jake is super chill. So that's an immediate red flag to me. I'm a Yorkshire woman. I can left Ben Shapiro and throw him in the sea.
it's harder as a woman. You got some stuff in the way.
Should challenge Megyn
Excuses,
Kelly to a
excuses.
bench pressing contest.
My legs my legs are pretty strong.
Did you see Riley Gaines being like, I can bench more than the man? It's like, we don't see any contradiction.
Yeah, right.
I did not see that. Oh my god.
Maybe you want to sit this one out, actually.
Yeah.
Keep things consistent. Attention? Yeah, Riley.
Yeah,
I don't know
right,
if it
sure.
doesn't make sense, but okay, grab it.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe.
Actual Jake is an OG real one. Yeah, 100%. So to be banned in there in his channel is already a pretty red flag for me. By the way, you have a Gorilla Bench collective here in San Francisco. Installs benches around the city for people to sit on since the city keeps removing them to keep the homeless from being comfortable. Dang. Installed 8 in April and another 12 the other night. Wow. The city keeps removing them. That's nonsense. Yeah, it is gross. Actual Jake has great corn emotes too. Yeah. Corn man. Whatever. That was just a troll. My plan was gonna be to frustrate them to no end. But I don't care. We've got important stuff to talk about, like video games.
Last month, I made a video about online age verification laws and how they don't actually help protect children from dangerous material, and instead they're just a way for the religious right to censor content they don't like. I mostly focused on the not protecting children at all point, but at the end, I did point out that these laws are part of the grand picture painted by Russell Vogt and Project 2025.
Great video. I'm a big fan of her content. The city also removes trash can in an effort to reduce littering, which is seriously arse backward. Rebecca Watson. Yep. My plan was to flee to Berlin.
And how, if passed, they are designed to lead to the censorship of more than just pornography. Trans care, women's health services, resources for kids in abusive homes, etc., etc. But a lot of people did not pick up on that ending message because, I don't know, attention spans, I guess. If you have to worry about people knowing it was you visiting that particular website, maybe don't visit that website, cry emoji. Just don't use these platforms. Maintain both your privacy and your mental health, celebration emoji.
Yeah, so like, wait a minute. First of all, who cares? Second of all, it's not just about. I mean, like, this was never fundamentally about protecting children. It never was. Mayhem Hippie with the tier 1 sub for 17 months.
Really don't care about the whole porn thing. Some of us don't need porn to have a good time, lol. Weird flex, but okay. So I was thinking that maybe it would be a good idea to do a follow-up video where I emphasize that slippery slope censorship of it all. But how to make sure that I fully capture the attention of
It's not about the porn.
these attention span starved commenters. Well, inspiration came from another commenter who did watch to the end of the video and had a remarkably blunt reaction to it. I don't care about the LGBT plus movement, but I'm still concerned. As a gamer, I remember Jack Thompson's rampage against violent video games. Imagine if he was in charge of what happens next. Fallout, Doom, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Dead by Daylight, Mortal Kombat, Dead Rising, Grand Theft Auto, and any other violent video game franchise would...
Violent video games. Whatever. Will the Broods try to cancel GTA 6 or not? Because that wouldn't be popular with their base. I don't know. It's not, it doesn't make any sense because it's not actually about like the morality of Grand Theft Auto, right? I guess for some it might be, but it's more like how can we expand the state spying apparatus. Is that just on the nose? And what's crazy is how they'll actually turn around the people actively involved and really behave like the reality Like they really don't truly see how effing monstrous they are. They just bereft any of morality, but they'll turn around and try to morally grandstand about something when convenient. Like Zionism. Yep, it wouldn't be a GTA 6 marketing blitz if they didn't. Yep.
Be gone. Well, that is certainly a true gamer opinion, isn't it? First, they came for actual queer people, and I only spoke up because I was pretty sure that next they were coming for my favorite video game's gay mutant hybrid clone crafted in the flesh pits by a soul-stealing sorcerer. As luck should have it, the conservative Christian war on games actually launched in full force on the very day I posted my previous video. In June, the online game platform Steam and Itch.io removed hundreds of games deemed to be adult, not because the platforms themselves objected to the content, but because their payment processors did. All of it seems to trace back to an Australian organization called Collective Shout, run by a woman named Melinda Tankard-Reist. The organization cosplays as feminist and uses that label to lobby corporations to delist and demonetize anything they deem as too obscene. In reality, Tankard-Reist is a right-wing theocrat who is not just anti-porn, but, and please hold on to your monocles, also anti-abortion, anti-trans, and anti-free speech.
Wow, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Not my Spyro, those nasty Norks deserve it. There goes my foot financial funding. Adults should be able to do adult things on the internet. 100%. Like, it's nobody's business. It's nobody's business, except your own. And the point is that they definitely are doing this not just because of like the prawn and the bad video games and, you know, the bad music like it was back in the day, you know, how music, obviously music makes you want to do bad stuff. Like, none of that is true. It's just about control. That's it. I am the point they're trying to ban off the internet. The point being no net job, no net, no job, and then they can throw me in prison for homelessness. Yep. The right wing is obscene. 100%.
Wow, it's almost like those things go together no matter what country you live in. To learn more about Tankard-Reist, I picked up this well-written and very thorough paper from Dr. Kate Gleason of Macquarie University that discusses both Tankard-Reist and her place in the decades-long history of conservative...
Rebecca Watson is great. I only saw one video that made me go, but I don't even remember why. I'm so glad streams I watch know who she is. 100%. I'm a big fan. Sex workers deserve labor protections. 100%. Agreed. Sometimes people miss. She usually corrects herself too. I mean, she's very thorough. She's very thorough. Adult humans might opt in, employer companies never will. We're coming after... let's see if I can do this. We are coming after the LGBTQ and anyone woke. Woke, have you heard of it? They're talking about it all the time, the best people. They're saying how the woke is destroying this country. Also, welcome Jordan B. Peterson to the HHS. He'll do better than Bobby. Does anybody remember Bobby? I ordered the National Guard to arrest the woke. And thank you for your attention to this matter. Your president. Speak for yourself, I never miss. Mod handle this individual. Welcome, Mono. Welcome, Looney Tunes. My chubby thighs will be saving woke lives. My brain requires an immense amount of nourishment. Good evening.
Christians who take on the mantle of being pro-woman and pro-children's safety to achieve their goals of outlawing abortion, stifling free speech, and banning anything they consider too raunchy. Tankard Reese started her public life as the bioethics advisor for an anti-abortion politician, spending a decade with him before starting her own anti-abortion lobbying group, Women's Forum Australia.
What
When
is it
Australians
good
rejected
for?
the anti-abortion agenda of that government, she pivoted to publicly wringing her hands over the sexualization of children, something much more likely to gain positive press in a more liberal world. That focus led to her creating Collective Shout in 2008 to lobby against the objectification of women and sexualization of girls in media, advertising, and pop culture. Gleason compares and contrasts Tankard Reese with contemporaries like Ariel Levy, author of Female Chauvinist Pigs, writing, Levy's analysis is similar to Tankard Reese in identifying the sexual revolution as having hijacked women's liberation. Her irritation that Playboy founder Hugh Hefner touts himself as a feminist hero of the post-feminist world is palpable. However, Levy does not concern herself with agendas of censorship or children, as does Tankard Reese, who tends to portray women less as active participants and more as passive victims in their relentless personal and cultural sexualization. I think that is a really great point to highlight. Feminists have differing and nuanced opinions on pornography and the sexualization of women. So when I discuss Collective Shout and their ilk, it's important to not assume that I like the brand.
Poggers. Welcome, Epi.
Brands, games, films, and whatnot that they criticize. My issue is with their philosophy and their tactics, which assume that women are essentially powerless children, that anything adult is necessarily damaging to society, that any portrayal of sexuality or violence against women or children is necessarily bad, and that the answer to all of this is top-down censorship. As far back as 2014, Collective Shout was lobbying against video games, as when they launched a successful petition to get Australian stores like Target and Kmart to agree to not
My smut collection would negate all of this.
carry Grand Theft Auto 5 because of its depictions of violence against women. They've achieved several similar wins over the years, and in April of this year, they convinced online gaming platforms to delist a particularly violent.
Yeah, and I think I think that well, this may be a different this may be a different incident, but now we're talking about strong arming payment processors to censor media. So people like Visa and MasterCard were threatening Steam if they didn't take down, certain media. I don't know if this was part of that, or if this was a separate incident, but yeah.
Full game about raping women. But their goal was to get these platforms to censor all adult content, and clearly Steam and Itch.io were not willing to do that. There are hundreds of well-loved games on the platforms that are in some ways raunchy or pornographic, with sexual gratification being the goal.
Do they even consider the violence against pigs, though? That has to be a point back in GTA's favor. Just speaking another language for a second. Yeah, I accidentally hit the 2 times.
And there are many more games that feature violence against women.
ADT, the Jays are the enemy of humanity. What is that? Can you elaborate on that? What is a J? Like, are you saying that, like, the letter J is the enemy of humanity? But yeah, Karen and her book club can read and talk about 50 Shades of Grey. Yep. What does Jays mean? They're Nazis. That was a Nazi. That was 1,000% a Nazi. 1,000%. Yeah, no need to. That was 1,000%. You sure he didn't mean Air Jordans? No, that was 1,000% a Nazi. My First Amendment was not legally applicable. Are effectively acknowledging the fact without knowing it. Wait, was that a question? I mean, it was very. Nazis are not that smart. The J question? Yeah, it was. They were talking about. They were talking about Jewish people. That's who the J's are. And it's okay. We occasionally get a Nazi stumbling in Sometimes Nazis take a wrong turn and end up here, thinking that somehow that this is a space for them. Definitely not talking about Ice Cream Jimmy's. No. Welcome, Sisfian Task. Wait, is the latest ceramic ring on the wall? What about the letter J equating to Nazis? Oh, yeah. They were talking about no, they're just too much of a coward to say what they really wanted to say. That's all. I may end up unable to get credit or debit cards in the West. Yikes. Because what they're basically saying is, should the First Amendment apply here, implying, yeah, it should be way more than just your private it was talking about the public ownership of payment processors. Gotcha. And even rightoids kind of instinctually feel that. They don't understand it. But when they scream First Amendment in context of private actors doing whatever they want with their private property, they're basically admitting without even understanding what their ideology is bunk. Yep. What if Mario was called Marlo and instead of mushrooms he collected Funko Pops? I mean, that's just me. There's lots of people who just try to spew stuff and see if there's any moderation. Yep. I like, and some people just do it. Like, some people do that to see if, like, this is, like, you know, a space for them. Although it's kind of weird that they would choose, unless they're just trying to agitate. But that is the case where some people just try to push and see if, like, anyone's going to say anything to see if it's okay to say Nazi shit. But yeah. Yeah, sometimes that's the case. That's true. Looks like my city's up for a next visit from Trump's National Guard. Chicago. Oof. Trolls get banished to the Shadow Realm. It depends. If they're entertaining enough, they may get to live for a minute. For a minute until we're done playing with our food. Fly, you fools. But normally, I mean, like, honestly, I just wanted them to see. I wanted to see if they would actually be, you know, honest. I wanted to see if they would actually be honest. Though that person was not long for this chat. That person was probably gonna last maybe one message more. Maybe one message more. That person was not long for chat, I can assure you. Don't hate on the Shadow Realm. Mordor serves its purpose and it's pretty cool.
Or children as an important part of the gameplay, like Detroit Becoming Human, for instance, in which the player controls a housekeeper who witnesses a man abusing his wife and child and must take action to save them. That is obviously not a game you'd want a young child to play, but there's absolutely nothing wrong about it. We're going to kowtow to the religious right and just ban all of these games. So Collective Shout adopted a tried and true tactic. They targeted the payment processors.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so that's where we're going. We're all still looking for the one single honest rightoid, like the Holy Grail, just to confirm whether or not such a thing exists. Oh man, no, they don't. Like the only honesty, the only honesty you'll get from like right-wing people, the only honesty you'll get from like the right wing is that like they're bigoted, and they won't say that they're bigoted most of the time, but they'll definitely act. You know, you'll get the honest actions from the right, but I mean that's about as honest as you can get out of the right wing. You have to refresh. Did the stream go down? Did OBS take down the stream? I didn't even realize. Well, refresh everyone. Thanks, Carlos and Chad, for the pain distraction insurance issue with my muscle meds. Yikes. Dishonest still. Yeah, well, that's true. Hit that refresh button, folks. Apparently the stream went down for a second, but it's up. It's back up. It's back up. I came back to YouTube. Gotcha. It paused? Okay. Well, as long as we're good. As long as we're good now.
Well-trod territory.
See, that's the cool thing. Like if Twitch kicks the bucket, at least you can fly to YouTube.
For Puritans, they used the same tactic previously to make life miserable for sex workers. As detailed in this 2023 paper published in City University of New York Law Review, financial discrimination against sex workers doesn't just force those people to find difficult workarounds for opening accounts, getting insurance, or finding loans, but the algorithms financial institutions use to detect sex workers also end up capturing a wide variety of uses, including access to sex education, abortion services, and mutual aid funds. All of which I will point out are things that the conservatives also oppose. It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yep.
And so, sure enough, it only took about a month of collective shout pressuring PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and others before those institutions leaned on Steam and Itch.io, and boom, hundreds of adult games.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Okay.
Games were delisted. Obviously, Collective Shout celebrated this and claimed it as a win, but you don't have to take their word for it. Itch.io put out a statement that read in part, "Recently, we came under scrutiny from our payment processors regarding the nature of some content hosted on Itch.io. Due to a game titled No Mercy, which was temporarily available on Itch.io before being banned back in April, the organization Collective Shout launched a campaign against Steam and Itch.io, directing concerns to our payment processors about the nature of certain content found on both platforms. Our ability to process payments is critical for every creator on our platform. To ensure that we can continue to operate and provide a marketplace for all developers, we must prioritize our relationship with our payment partners and take immediate steps towards compliance." And because Itch.io is run by a small group of people, and because they host a tremendous amount of user-submitted content, they were forced to just delist all not safe for work games. All of them, not just games that glorify rape or sexualize children or whatever it is Collective Shout pretends to care about. Much like with the financial discrimination of sex workers, it is a feature and not a bug that this action resulted in widespread censorship. And like that example, this win will lead to an expansion on what is considered NSFW, or what is considered obscene, what is dangerous for children, sex education, any depiction of gay, queer, and trans people, blasphemy against the Christian God, and on and on and on. The website The Gamer pins the blame for all of this on Project 2025, which is right and also wrong. There's no evidence that Project 2025's architect, Russell Vogt, had anything to do with this. There's plenty of evidence that this anti-woman activist group from another country had everything to do with it. But yes, both Project 2025 and groups like Collective Shout are part of the religious right. They share tactics. Both are theocrats with the ultimate goal of controlling women, forcing women to give birth, pushing women out of the workforce and public life. Both have identified pornography and the safety of children as the most convenient way to achieve their goals. Project 2025 lays this out very clearly. Pornography, manifested today in the omnipresent propagation of transgender ideology, has no claim to First Amendment protection. Get it?
Pretty sure this is exactly what Nadia was talking about just a moment ago.
You don't care about the religious right censoring pornography? Well, guess what? Pornography means transgender ideology.
Yep.
They said it. And once they manage to get that one over on you, they'll know that they can next outright say that pornography means gay people. Because pornography just means whatever the religious right doesn't like. Empowered women, people of color, immigrants, and yeah, fun video games. Video games are officially on the first they came for list, okay? Do you care now? So please reject MAGA, reject Trump, reject the Republican fascist takeover happening right now in the United States, or by next year, your only gaming option is going to be VeggieTales, the mystery of Veggie Island, and you'll fucking deserve it.
Hey man, why hate on VeggieTales, alright? Valve doesn't need to have been directly involved, though it's a framework from which knock-on effects that they agree may occur. Yep, that's sort of what she was talking about. It's almost like Pornhub has categories. If it's not your thing, then don't click on it. Yep. That's a legit justification for terrorism if I ever saw one. No, VeggieTales is fun. Maybe they shouldn't have censored Tumblr. Tumblr used to be uncensored, right? Oh, many moons ago. I'm sorry, I only used Tumblr very seldomly back in the day. Does it even still exist? Does Tumblr even still exist? Oh, Tumblr does exist. It does, yeah. It's similar to Pinterest, yeah, but it also has like text. It's like a blog. It is like a blog site, you know. I used to have a page. I think I used to have a page too. I'm 90% sure. I'm 90% sure that at some point I used to have a page. I don't think it exists anymore. I don't even know if I can recover my my old account. Thank you for stopping by, BCAP. Appreciate it. I think there's a website still hosted at the domain name. Not much is there as far as I know. It definitely doesn't look like Tumblr like it used to be. It's what used to be called microblogging back in the day. Yeah. It wasn't like full-on blogs, but it still exists more or less. Kind of. Like, they even have videos now. I remember Usenet. I don't think I used that one. I know nothing of Tumblr and I didn't bring it up. I'm old enough to remember LiveJournal. I remember LiveJournal. Does that even exist still? Yeah, LiveJournal is still a thing, but I don't remember LiveJournal looking like this. It's called Substack. True. Let's buy the Gavin Newsom merch. Yeah, I was looking at that. I mean, like it's amusing. If anything, it's amusing because like that like the MAGA people can't say anything, right? Because like it's just like it's just a mirror being held up essentially. Usenet was started in 1981. Why are flat tacos called Mexican pizzas, but folded pizza isn't called an American taco? Huh. These are real difficult truths, honestly. It's a good question. Dude, welcome. LiveJournal was where the real cringe content was kept. All I remember is World Star Hip Hop. I remember World Star. Is that still even a thing? I know in like internet speak, like that's in internet speak, like World Star is like ancient. Oh yeah, it's still there. Internet relay chat. Wow. Great. Now I feel old. Thank you. Have to refresh again. What's going on? We're about to actually start. we're actually about to start the news. Alligator Alcatraz will be closed soon. I certainly hope so. Yeah, it looks like the stream went down again. I don't know why. OBS is acting up again. Because I've got internet. The first email was sent in 1971. Alligator Alcatraz will be closed soon. I hope so. I certainly hope so. Looks like that environmental lawsuit may have done it. We will see. IRC was 88 or 89. I wasn't even alive. It is actually old. I was not even alive during any of those. Presumably. Remember when it got the feature to show you someone typing in real time? Huh. When was that? That's it. I'm quitting Twitch. Don't blame Twitch yet. Not yet. Blame OBS. Before we blame Twitch, I'm putting the blame on OBS. Was a toddler on his grandpa's farm. I think in the 80s, I don't even know if the thought of me existing even was there. My old sister was in AOL chat rooms and I was DDoSing her. Can the old rich white guys go to breakfast with bagel slicers already? At least it's not StreamYard, which only crashes but takes your money too. At least OBS doesn't crash like too bad. It kind of just blips. The internet used to be different before corporations moved in. Yeah, I bet. In 1978, I used a DAC writer to create a paper tape program and using a modem sent it to UCI to have it compiled. What? That's wild. Welcome, Wolfclan. I don't know if I said hi. Wow. Wow. Sounds like something Rick Moranis would have done in a role. The ARPANET carried its first packet in October of 1969, and NPL beat it in early 69. Wow. 78er. No, I'm a bit, a tad bit younger. A tad bit younger. I'm ageless. There you go. That's the right answer. That's the right answer. All right, folks. We only got a couple. My ego is huge, though. We only got a couple of stories to go through. So let's just finish up here. Trump says Democratic donor Soros and son should be charged with corruption. Offers no evidence. President Trump said on Wednesday today that billionaire financier and major Democratic donor George Soros, the big boogeyman, the big boogeyman, of course, not Trump though. Certainly not Elon Musk. None of those people should be investigated. And his son should be charged under the Racketeer Influence and Corruption Organizations Act, or RICO. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, didn't Trump, wasn't Trump possibly facing something similar for the election? The election crimes? They're facing a potential RICO act in, I believe, Georgia. I want George Soros charged for corruption, unlike me. Lock him up for life. Thank you for your attention to this matter. When is the FBI gonna raid Soros? Soon, apparently. But offered no evidence to support the allegations. Trump has embarked on a campaign of threats and lawsuits against political adversaries, news organizations, and law firms using a mix of litigation, executive power, and his influence in what allies describe as an effort to hold the powerful accountable. What? And opponents calling a chill assault on dissent. Soros, a 95-year-old Holocaust survivor, has been considered a villain by Trump and his conservative base. Like, just to be clear, like, if this... the reason why George Soros particularly is being singled out and not someone like, I don't know, Elon Musk, right? Is because George Soros is Jewish. Okay, like, let's be honest. There's an entire like anti-Semitic thread being woven here, and that's really what this is. Because if they are really after like financial corruption and stuff like that, they would be really looking at Elon Musk as well. But no, it just happens to be the Jewish billionaire. Yeah. It is anti-Semitism. Yep. Are they really going to raid a rich guy? If he's the Jewish boogeyman that fits the bill, then yeah, they would like to. They would like to. His philanthropic organization, Open Society Foundation, is one of the world's largest funders of causes including human rights, government transparency, public health, and education. Interestingly, George Soros is who sponsored a great deal of Esperanto activity. George Soros and his wonderful radical left son, because nothing says the radical left like a billionaire, should be charged with RICO because of their support of violent protests, ? And much more throughout all of the United States of America, Trump wrote on Truth Social. That includes his crazy West Coast friends. Be careful, we're watching you. Trump did not provide evidence of any wrongdoing by Soros or his son to support the allegations. The spokesperson for Open Society Foundation denounced Trump's comments. These accusations are outrageous and false. The Open Society Foundation does not support or fund violent protests. Our mission is to advance human rights, justice, and democratic principles at home and around the world. Trump has also called for investigations into former National Security Advisor John Bolton. He was raided. That's a little over 5 months. They'd go after Trump himself, really. Yep. Sad to see all this crap come around again. It must be beyond soul destroying if you actually remember the last time. Ask why they are already attacking his kids, because training their base to hate someone else with the same intensity would take a long time. Yep. Trump has revived attacks on other former allies, recently suggesting prosecutors should reopen the 2013 Bridgegate case involved former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, now a vocal critic of the president. Yeah, again, I mean, like, I don't give a shit about John Bolton, okay? Nor do I give a shit about George Soros, a billionaire, or Chris Christie. But the point being is that, like, yeah, definitely the whole George Soros thing is, like, undeniably a anti-Semitic dog whistle. And just further examples that this guy's just going to continue to attack his perceived political opponents, including people like Chris Christie and John Bolton. Yeah, that's true, Nadia. Given that he's 95, he can largely be assumed to be on his deathbed, so the children are the only animate characters of his name. How old is Trump? Because I'm beginning to be slightly dubious about all the things he's never seen at whatever levels they're at before. We'll take that. We'll take this as a lowercase w. We'll go over this. We'll go over this really quickly. Democrats celebrate special election victory in Iowa, ending the GOP supermajority in the state. So that's cool. That's pretty cool. Results are a potential warning sign for Republicans, and just Democratic voters may be more engaged heading into next year's election, where control of Congress is at stake. We'll see. Watch her get bent off like Manchin, though. I mean, that's always a possibility with any Democrat like that. The Dems could have been a great party of sorts and corrupt them all. True. A lot of power. Guy's got a lot, guy's got a lot of things going at 95 years old, Soros' mind is most likely is likely more intact than Trump's. True. Court tosses Trump lawsuits against Maryland judge over U.S. deportations. A federal judge on yesterday dismissed an unprecedented lawsuit filed by the Trump administration earlier in the summer against all 15 judges serving on Maryland's federal district court, a case that opposed pausing some deportations from the state. So, big L here for Trump. In a 37-page ruling, the U.S. District Judge Thomas Cullen of Virginia's Western District, who was nominated and confirmed to his position during Trump's first presidency, wrote that any fair reading of the legal authorities cited by the defendants leads to the ineluctable conclusion that this court has no alternative to dismiss. Womp, womp, womp. To hold otherwise, Cullen added, would run counter to overwhelming precedent, depart from long-standing constitutional tradition, and offend the rule of law. The Trump administration had challenged an order issued by Maryland's chief district judge that temporarily barred the government from deporting undocumented immigrants for 2 business days if they filed challenges to their detention. Trump's Justice Department argued that the order exceeded the court's authority and violated federal law. But Cullen, who was nominated to the bench by Trump in 2020 and was assigned to the case because all Maryland district judges were named as defendants, wrote that the judge were absolutely immune from lawsuits over their judicial actions. Cullen said that instead of suing, the administration should have challenged the order through other legal channels, such as appealing against the order. As such, as the executive fights the characterization, a lawsuit by the executive branch of government against the judicial branch for the exercise of judicial power is not ordinary. In their wisdom, the Constitution's framers joined 3 coordinate branches to establish a single sovereign. The structure may occasionally engender clashes between 2 branches and encroachment by one branch on another's authority, but mediating those disputes must occur in a manner that respects the judiciary's constitutional role. He added if the administration's arguments were made in the proper form, they might get some traction, but he said as the events over the past several months have revealed, these are not normal times, at least regarding the interplay between the executive and this coordinate branch of government. So, I mean, like, he is admitting that he's admitting that these are not normal times, and these are not normal times. Are they going to try to send Kilmar Abrego Garcia to Uganda? They're going to try. I think they initiated proceedings. Whether or not he actually gets deported to Uganda is unclear. I think he made a plea to try to get deported to Costa Rica. Is learning Zulu just in case. How would you pronounce that, Zizi? These woke judges made a mistake. I see that ICE deports them to China. Thank you for your attention to this matter. It's no surprise that the executive chose a different and more confrontational path entirely. Instead of appealing any one of the affected cases or filing a rules challenge with the Judicial Council, the executive decided to sue in a big way. In a footnote, Cohen criticized the Trump administration's attacks on the judges across the country throughout his second presidency, which began in January. Thought he declined Costa Rica. No, so what happened was that the original deal was that he was to admit guilt. Oh, that's Chinese. Gotcha. He was to plead guilty, and he would be deported to Costa Rica. He said, "No, I'm not going to plead guilty." Or you could be deported to Uganda. Right? Those are your choices. You either plead guilty. You either plead guilty and you get deported to Costa Rica, or you get deported to Uganda. And he said, like, no, I'm not pleading guilty. I didn't do any of this. So here we are. And now he's fighting to see if they are going to be hell bent on deporting him. He's trying to make it so that he gets deported to Costa Rica. Makes me wonder, do we have any agreements with Costa Rica? My suspicion is that, yes. I love Costa Rica. Let me plead. I was saying that last time. I said if that's the situation, why would I even want to stay here? Just ship me to Costa Rica, fam. You may want to arm radicals now, though out of pure preservation. Who's going to stop them? Yep. Indeed. Costa Rica, no army since 1958. Yep. No army since 1958 after the Civil War. Over the past several months, he said the Trump administration officials had described federal district judges around the country as, quote, left-wing, liberal, activist, radical, politically minded, rogue, unhinged, outrageous, overzealous, and unconstitutional, crooked, and worse. Although some tensions between coordinate branches of government is a hallmark of our constitutional system, this concerted effort by the executive to smear and impugn individual judges who rule against it is both unprecedented and unfortunate. Among the judges named in a lawsuit was U.S. District Judge Paul Zinnes, who ruled in April that the Trump administration unlawfully deported Kilmar Abrego Garcia to El Salvador and ordered the U.S. to return him. They also let foreigners own property, just need to be like 100 meters from the beach, which I think is super fair, and we should have similar restrictions. I'm a dual citizen of Costa Rica. I understand Garcia wanting to stand his ground, even though the country is a hellscape. Oh, we do have an update. Half Tico. Yep. Dems will never lift a finger to stop it. Well, so far they've been pretty useless. Judge blocks administration from deporting Abrego Garcia until at least October. So we have that, and his immigration case is going to be reopened. So he's going to try to seek asylum. I don't know why. I don't know why he would want to seek asylum after all this country's, done to him. But I mean, maybe perhaps he's looking at this from a post-Trump perspective, where maybe after all this is said and done, he could stay here. His family? Gotcha. His children? Yeah, I mean, I'm saying, like, I would make all moves to try to bring my family out of here. But I guess that's not feasible. But they won't let him go. The administration there is truly like cancer. Very, very, very horrific. I'm definitely gonna keep track of what's happening with that case, and hopefully the result is that they let him go. After all is said and done. Because, I mean, seriously, the guy has not done, as far as we know, has not done anything wrong. And what this administration has done is disgusting. And I'll let him go. I mean, they won't stop persecuting him. I mean, like, if the judge, rules that we can assume that at least it won't be as easy. The next Nazis rigged the elections. Maybe. There's no after in our lifetimes. Well, we got to keep hope and we got to keep fighting, because without that, then we're just lying down to surrender. As far as I'm concerned, it's not over until it's over. All right, folks. It is about 7 o'clock. It'll take generations to correct, and we must win to defeat climate change. 100%. Yeah, no, it's not going to be easy. Even if we do win, it's not going to be easy. Not by a long shot. Not by any stretch of the imagination is it going to be easy. Regardless, even winning, even if we do win. All right, folks, I got to get out of here. It's about 7 o'clock. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you, Mayhem Hippie, Pippy Chick. Thank you. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hasser, for modding the chat. Appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back on, I almost said Monday. Tomorrow, about 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, folks. If you want to support the channel, don't forget, do all the things, like, share, subscribe, check out the merch store, ! Tip. Join the Discord, folks. That's a big one. Left is best. Thank y'all. Thank you, Ladybug. Appreciate it. Again, we'll be back tomorrow at around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. See ya! Hang tight, folks. Hang tight. Alright, folks, hang tight. We're heading in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye. Check out this space, folks. Bye-bye.